Are here if you are ready.
Welcome.
Welcome to you.
Thank you. Yes, it's a whirlwind. I'm just double checking to make sure that we are recording. We are recording. And yes, we are ready. Very ad hoc. Welcome.
We are very proud of the two of you for heeding the call that we have requested of you. We understand that Truth was not exactly excited about this, but it does need to be done. There are more and more stepping forward, and she must be one of them. She should have started this long ago within her center. That was the plan. She has healed enough to be able to tolerate the arrows that may be flung upon her for this. It's important for those who follow her to understand that she was locked up in mental hospitals for a period of 13 years because of the things she knew and could do, her skills, her gifts. And they wanted her to go away so she could not fulfill her path. So she still holds a bit of fear surrounding that particular situation. She doesn't wish to go through that again. So please understand that this is part of her trepidation. We thank you all for joining us. This is a very exciting time upon your planet. I am the one known I am the one known as Melchizedek. I am not what your Bible tells you. I am the counterpart to Saint Francis, the counterpart to Merlin. We are all the same energy and the same personality that moved through your planet at different times. It is all one energy that took on many bodies. We are here along with the one that you understand as Jesus. Archangel Metatron is here with us tonight as well, as this is a very special occasion. So he has joined us to bless all of you and your environments and your loved ones and beyond. This is a very big occasion that you all are unaware of, that you are at the beginning of something very large. As we say this, we're having to hold her back. And we think it's funny. she has come along this path very grudgingly. Of the people that we were aware of joining this at the very beginning, the one known as Pilar is the one who has been with her the longest. And Pilar may not realize it, but she was at the very, 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 very beginning of this path. We call the one you know as Terry Truth Light. That is her name in our realm. So Truth Light had no idea what she was getting into when she started teaching her little classes in Sanford, Florida. This is when the one that you see as Pilar here joined with her only several months after she began teaching her own programs. Before that, she had worked with her mentor, who also is here with us, joining us. He's very proud of her, and he also finds this rather amusing. We also have Mother Mary. We have, there's so many here. I believe any ascended master that you all would know is here with us. As I look, they are continuing to gather. There are many, many enlightened beings here to support you all who have shown up, and to support Sharon, who has shown up and went through a great deal to show up tonight. We're very grateful to you for that, because this couldn't happen without you. You are as important as Truth Light is.
Thank you. I'm very honored.
Thank you. we would like to know if any of you have questions for us, as we are here to support you on your path. These may be questions about your world situation, about what is happening in your society, about fears or concerns you may have. It may be personal, it may be grand scale. We're here to answer and support you in any way that we may. If you have topics rather than questions that you would like to learn about, that's also acceptable. There are many of us here to answer any questions that you may have.
So may I begin with the question of Machezadeck? You are misrepresented.
Yes.
And after the channeling of this weekend, Adam had some very pointed questions about, tell me more about Melchizedek. And I can't describe you well enough. Would you take some time to do that?
Yes.
Thank you.
I am one who has taught in the mystery schools to assist in creating leaders of mystical practices for the light. I have, in my recent incarnations, always worked with the light. Virtually any master who works with the light has had to go through periods with the darkness in one way or another to be able to understand what we're up against when we're working with the light. There are many stories told about me so that you will not learn what I taught. This is for the masses to understand. Anyone who is enlightened enough to use these mystical practices for good. I also am not as serious as they paint me out to be. I am what you may call a master magician, but it's mystical practices, not sleight of hand. For me, I have worked with keeping the high-level priests, the high-level teachers in a place of light. More often than not, those people turn to the dark and therefore misrepresent me so that no one else learns the mystical practices that they learned. They don't want the masses to have that because you couldn't be manipulated then. The only people in the masses, when I use this term, that would be able to accomplish what I used to teach and still teach through other beings on your planet. The only people that could successfully use that are people who are of advanced consciousness, which, though we understand you don't see yourselves that way, everyone upon this call is one of those. I encourage you all to release the things you've been taught by religion pertaining to all of us, because they rewrote those stories in order to keep you from gaining the things that were actually being taught throughout the ages as we have incarnated to your planet. So we prefer that you get to know us through these channelings. We are here so that not to get into Bible verses or written verses from different religions, because that's low vibration. We are here for you to interact with us so that you might get to know us better and help people understand. Just like Nikola Tesla and many others throughout the ages discovered many technologies that could benefit man, and they were taken out. Instead, people like Edison were put in place who were corrupt. There should be free energy. There should be free technology for your world. That's what was meant to be. These teachings, Nikola Tesla understood many of these teachings. he was here to bring those technologies out to people, just like we have been here throughout the ages to bring mystical teachings and the higher level of consciousness to your world. Because of those religious writings and because of the manipulation of religion and churches, people have not been allowed to uncover their natural gifts. These mystical teachings are for everyone who is ready for them. We are here with these, what should be weekly channelings, to help you all get to know us, to help you all get to know the star beings that are working with your planet. At one point, the one known as Adam, although we have a nickname for him, he asked something about first contact of truth, of Terry. And what we're here to help you understand is this is first contact. When star beings channel through and are willing to answer your questions, that is your first contact. You are encountering them. So first contact doesn't necessarily mean that you will see a ship or a glowing being in front of you. First contact can mean this. Is that helpful to you all?
We're getting a yes.
Wonderful.
If I could ask a follow-up question on that, when you were saying about the direct relationship, the direct connection with the ascended masters, as well as anyone else, such as off-world beings, right? Versus the way religion is done right now, where you must go through a mediary and then some. Is there anything that would be helpful for the viewers of this to
It's
know
a
about that?
scam. Anyone who tells you that is a liar, or they have been lied to in such a degree that they believe it to be truth. It is meant for every single human being and every single living energy on your planet to have that direct connection themselves. You are all expressions of creation. You are all fingers of that one source. You are all parts, facets, fractals of the one beautiful creator. There is no separation. You are all just different facets of the all. So there is no middleman. When you are taught that there's a middleman and you have to go through someone else, you can be guaranteed that that is evil, whether it's conscious or not. That is someone dividing. Any divisiveness, religion in and of itself is not of God. You would be much better to go back and study the philosophies from which they bastardized and created religions. Religions are not of God or of creation because they divide. We are right, you are wrong. Our God, your God, their God. What people don't understand is the gods, as you do, we say God with little g rather than big G. She must need to sneeze. It feels very funny. It's very funny. The gods that religions worship are demigods. Even those that consider themselves to be Christian are worshiping demigods. Demigods are the ones who give you the impression that you must go through someone else. These are false gods that are being worshipped. And the infighting, the wars that are supposed to be about religion, they are fighting for these less than beings, none of which are of the light, by the way, rather than connecting with their own source, rather than saying, no, thank you, I don't want your divisiveness. I understand that I am of source, as are you, as is everyone and everything that we see. If we had our way, there would be no religion. There would be no worshiping. Worshiping is a very unhealthy thing. Communing with is beautiful. Connecting with is beautiful. But worshiping, that leads you to the lesser gods who are of the dark. This is something that has been brought upon your planet by extreme evil and darkness. They feed off of religions. They feed off of churches. Your biggest religions on that planet are all so evil. They are nothing but darkness. And they answer to no one but Lucifer or Satan. To be clear with you all, your planet is so out of balance between dark and light at this point that Satan contacted the light to have assistance with Lucifer because he has gone rogue. And most of you have no idea, but Truth Light was one of 3 lights that was called in to assist and extract Satan. She didn't even know they were different beings, Satan and Lucifer. She was one who assisted in extracting Satan so the light could come in and work on getting a handle on Lucifer. These people, as we refer to them as Satanists, in fact, they are Luciferian. Satan is dark, granted, but at least he follows the rules. There are very specific rules of balance between light and dark on your planet. And it's meant to, in balance, create that resistance, which gives you life lessons that you can't get in the higher realms. But over time, specifically since the late 1930s, darkness has been growing and growing and growing and growing by the decade until the growth was exponential, and it has taken the lead on your planet. It's everywhere at this point. And you have to work very hard not to get sucked into it because it is so predominant on your planet. And the nuclei of these channels of darkness is the church, is religion. They are the anchors for this darkness. And it grows from there.
You've talked a little bit about the feeding off of worship. There are other areas that I know Truth has talked about, we've discussed, as far as the darkness feeding off of certain emotions, and definitely emotions versus feelings.
Yes.
That, as well as what the darkness, at least it may have shifted, but what they've needed to do and how we vote for the dark or the light based on some of our life choices and entertainment choices.
That's a wonderful question. I feel as if somebody else would like to come through to answer that.
Right.
I believe this will be Jesus, the one you know is Jesus coming through. It's a little crowded here. I wish there was a way to translate what I'm seeing here. It's not been like this before when you channel with her. It's
beautiful.
Never been this many here. I will bid you adieu. It's been lovely speaking with you all.
Having fun.
This has been a fun day to watch.
I bet it has. Speaking of Keystone Cops.
Yes,
A
you
little bit there.
too. You two have absolutely been the Keystone Cops. I'm going to tell on her. She forgot we were doing this. She forgot over and over and over again today because she really was afraid to do this. So she went into town to run an errand, and she went by Del Taco and she got 2 milkshakes and she drank them one after the other.
Why?
She has never done that.
That's very unusual for her.
She has never done that. And she didn't remember why she was so nervous. She couldn't figure out why she was doing it. It was quite entertaining. She was sick for a couple of hours, so she couldn't prepare. As you were finding 17 was closed, she was on the couch sick as a dog. Then we reminded her.
Oh, great. They sometimes need to sneak up on us, and especially truth.
Oh, 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 oh. Machezadeck left at the right time. I get the dog. Who's this? Oh, oh. This is wonderful. My mother's going to want to come in here. Okay, I'm sorry. I will focus.
They get to use her body and sense of touch so that they can actually translate into the physical touch of petting dogs. They love dogs.
Oh, oh, goodness. Oh, okay.
There.
Oh, no, I put my hands face down on her
Okay,
legs. That
perfect.
doesn't, we don't like that. I'm not a girl. I don't like to feel girls' legs. I mean, I like to feel girls' legs. They're getting to know a bit too much, aren't they? Back to your question.
Yes.
I digress. Yes. In your society, on your planet, oh, I'm in heaven right now, literally and figuratively. It has spread throughout everything you experience in your day-to-day life, unless you are extremely careful to navigate away from it. For instance, you mentioned, how do we vote for darkness? Increasingly, surely you have all noticed that there are many more. If you go through the TV listings or the streaming services and their offerings, it's extreme violence, it's horror, it's carnal, it's so much that is being normalized. If there's so much, I don't even know where to begin. We'll take the movie industry to begin with. Every time that someone goes to see an exceedingly violent movie or a horror movie, what you're doing is you're telling the darkness, yes, please, I want more of this in my life. You are telling darkness, I enjoy seeing people put through a wood chipper. I enjoy seeing horrible things happen to children or demons coming in and possessing people. People don't understand this is not fiction. When you go see these movies, the big blockbusters, they are made by Luciferians to feed their god and its minions. As you go into the movie theater to watch those, or you watch those in your home, you are calling in the demonic energy saying, come on in. My door's wide open. I am a safe harbor for your minions. I want more of this in the world. We don't understand how humanity has come to a point where they see these horrible, demonic things as entertainment. The entertainment for your Super Bowl, which is evil beyond imagination to begin with. The halftime show is a satanic ritual every year. And they hold this ritual at halftime because they know that that is the most watched event around the world. They are harnessing all of that energy for their Lord and Master Lucifer. The music industry, we're not aware of the year because we're not there, but we know it was in the 1970s at some point, or we believe it was the 1970s, when they actually shifted the key that music was played in so that it was not healing frequencies, it was demonic frequencies. The music that people listen to in the, if it's not classical or jazz or something, but the popular music that most people listen to, it's repetitive, it's hypnotic, it's in that different chord, that different key that opens up to darkness. And people pay fortunes to go see these Luciferians in their concerts. What are you doing? You're saying, yes, please take my soul. Do you understand that there have been many concerts on your planet where people have literally been sucked into holes under the ground? This is no longer something that can be overlooked. They are now bringing rituals into their concerts, and people are paying hundreds of dollars to be there, which is telling Lucifer, I am following you. I want you in my life. I'm going to say I'm a Christian, I'm a Catholic, I'm a whatever. But when you are saying yes to these offerings, you are saying yes to a demonic lifestyle. Now I've gone on a rant and I don't remember where we're going.
Voting, the choices that we make, how it votes.
Yes. So that's the equivalent of what I'm saying is, yes, when you participate in these things, when you listen to these songs, when you watch these shows or movies, when you partake of excessive alcohol, of getting the addictive groove with hard drugs, things like that. All of that is saying yes to the dark. We gave you all a cheat sheet. They ripped it apart. The only one they show is the 7 sins, right? It should be sins, virtues. If you're feeling this, look to that. If you're feeling this, look to this. The virtues and the sins should be right next to each other, and we have yet to see a place that actually does that. Find a religion who teaches their people. Repent means turn away from. So if you're in the center and you've got the sin column over here and you've got the virtue column over here, you repent from anger and go to love, compassion. If you're greedy, you repent, turn away from, and look to the virtue that goes along with that. It's a beautiful cheat sheet. Everyone should have it in their home, everywhere. On the refrigerator or something where your family members can go, wow, you know, I'm seeing that I'm perhaps lustful. And so you look, what is the counterpart to that? It's very simple. We left the teachings behind. We left so many tools behind. So when you decide to stay on the side of the sins, which are just, you're at 0.0. If you start veering over to the sins, it means you're off the track of being in the light. You're just veering towards darkness. So, hey, to come back to the light, what's that virtue concept? The sins are just concepts. They're states of consciousness, as are the virtues. So if I'm in this state of consciousness somewhere, I need to come over to the light, come to the light side. It's that simple. But as you cast your votes for, people who, for instance, go out and drink excessively, and then they go and they watch perhaps extremely violent movies or movies where people are doing wrong by other people. They're in the sin genre, right? We would love for you to heal your concepts around that word sin, because to sin is to miss the mark. That's all that means. Oh, I'm sinning. I'm falling over here. But you have such a concept around that word because of religion that when you're living in that space, you are casting your vote for the darkness. Any one of those states of consciousness, you're saying dark, please. When you start seeking to bring yourself back over to the virtues, you're saying, I would like light. So for instance, when Truth tries to watch programs in the evening, it's very difficult for her to find anything that is okay to watch, because it has become so excessive in your world to have darkness coming at you from every direction with the screens everywhere, and not communing with nature, not connecting with your families and your loved ones, not going out and finding joy. Everything that we're talking about that is being pumped out to the masses is designed to create fear. It's designed to create lust. It's designed to get people riled up and be angry and agitated. This is not the way to enlightenment. So you have to actually seek out the light things, the good things, the things that encourage healthy, wholesome values and morals, things that align more with the virtuous side of that cheat sheet. That's all that is. It's not some big thing. It's just a cheat sheet. But they've got you all so wrapped around those sins, and most people don't even know there's a list of virtues that goes with it. That's how you cast your vote. I live in this, or I aim towards these states of consciousness, or I aim towards these states of consciousness. And it's just that simple. If you are going to go to a movie, if you are going to listen to music, go to a concert, whatever it might, whatever form of entertainment you're looking at, is it aligned here or is it aligned here? There is a show on one of your things that people watch called Good Omens. Yes. Truth had a friend here, and they were trying to find something to watch. And this friend is, Truth calls them muggles. Yes. She's someone who has been in Truth's life since she was a child. They're very, very old and dear friends, but this friend has not come along with truth on her past. She has remained in fear and judgment. And so she was trying to show truth, this show that she thought was good, was light, was happy, this good omens. And so truth thought by the name, okay, we'll give it a try. Well, it was on about a minute and a half, and truth was squirming out of her skin as the friend is thinking they're watching a good show, a good, wholesome show. The energy was so dark coming through it. Truth had to, against her nature, because she's very polite, she had to tell her friend, that will not be in my home. This will not play in my home. It was not on more than 3 minutes, and truth had to cleanse her home with Palo Santo. Not in her home, not in her energy, not in her space. And so this is a show that was supposed to be uplifting. But the dark has become so normalized that this was less dark, so it was okay. And that is exactly what this energy wants. It wants to become so prevalent that you think you're turning to the virtuous side when you're still in the dark. Is this helpful?
This is very helpful.
Nope, not a bit.
Now, oh, to put Dave now, Don Ryan, now sound just came through.
Muted person who just came in. If I, building on what you described, so the people participating live in this, as well as the people who will be watching, excuse me, watching the recording.
This will be uploaded to YouTube, I believe.
Yes, that is
Yes.
the plan. People, again, these people are making an effort. They have been making an effort to raise their vibration, to choose flipping the pole, flipping the rod.
Yes.
Could you go into the importance of even just one of us as we step in and raise our vibration and make those choices, how that offsets those who are watching Good Omen? Or
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. That's a wonderful question. The people on this call, our sense of you, the ones who are here live, and likely many, if not all of those who may watch it in the future, you are here because you have not departed so far from yourself that you exist in someone else's reality. You may think you do, but in fact, you're all still very close to your own center. You've not lost that connection. You may have had a religion who told you you had to go through somebody else, but no one on this call actually did that. You may have thought you were doing that, but you haven't. You've never strayed. And so as you existed before you even began a path of enlightenment on purpose, you were already holding a higher level of frequency than the majority of people on this planet. And so by doing so, you, at your various stages along that path of enlightenment, will continue to offset the negativity of many people as you're just beginning. So for the people who are here live, that's who we can tune into. We would say that each of you has, at your lowest level, we'll say, your most innocent level before you knew anything, you were still offsetting 20,000 people or more, each of you individually. So for each one of you, 20,000 people who were drifting, perhaps hadn't committed one way or the other, or maybe were just existing in a very toxic situation, you were assisting in kind of cleaning that energy up. As you progress along your path, you begin to offset more and more and more people. The one we call Honor, who you call Sharon, we would say that at this point, because you have grown, oh, my friend, wow, it is impressive. You currently are offsetting approximately 350,000 people. How's that feel?
I have chills. I have chills.
Yes,
And I
you
don't
have.
recognize who I was before. It's that vast a difference.
Yes, it is. You have done your work, and we are so proud of you. And you set such a wonderful example just by walking your path, as do all of you here with us tonight. And so, as you continue to move forward, you continue to offset more and more. Would you give us the names of the people who are here live, and we will seek to assist you in knowing where you are now and how many you are offsetting now if they would like.
I believe everyone would, and I'll try to go alphabetically. That's probably the easiest way for me to remember who's there. So Adam, the one known as Adam or
Mischief. I'll call him Mischief, yes. I know Melchizedek, I think, did not, but I will. Currently, and this is since December, we want to be very clear. This has shifted dramatically since December of 2024. You are currently offsetting approximately 60,000 people.
Getting a thumbs up from him. And some celebration over there. Thank you.
I would think. It's
Yes.
exciting, isn't it?
It's a huge deal.
Just by being and keeping yourself in a place of gratitude and joy, that's all you need to do is be happy. Oh, woe is us. You must be happy. That's how you do it. So the more you walk this path, that's the only difference. The more you walk your path, the more grateful and joyful you become. And as you do that, you begin to fill more and more with unconditional love. And this is how you go up in the number of people that you are offsetting. That's really all there is to it, is gratitude and joy. Unconditional love follows those two. Who's next?
Thank you. The one known as Katie.
Oh, we love you, Katie. We're going to help you relax. Katie, we do have a message for you, so please remind us to get back to that. Currently, where Katie is at the moment, she is offsetting approximately 100,000 people. And there is a book on your planet called Power versus Force that we believe goes into this.
Yes.
More scientifically. So if you happen to be scientific, this explains a lot of it. That was one of ours. We worked through that man. He was wonderfully connected with us.
The one known as David Short.
Okay. Currently, we see that David is offsetting approximately 75,000 people.
And David, I can't tell if you could put in the chat, if you have anyone else with you watching this, if you could put their name in the chat, and I can give that to the one known as Jesus. The one known as Elizabeth. I believe it is with you, Adam and Katie. Is that Elizabeth? Beautiful, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, dear one, we do have messages for you as well, so please note that. And we love you very much. We are backing what's happening with you right now. Please know that you're not alone and you are seen. And we'll leave the rest for later. right now we see that Elizabeth is offsetting between 150 and 175,000 people. You're very good, even navigating what you're navigating. You do a very good job of keeping your energy stable. We know there are times, but that's impressive.
And David, I don't know, I don't see anything in the chat at the moment, if there's anyone else. The one known as Pilar.
We are old friends, Pilar, and many of us here. She may not, we don't know if she knows that, but we are. Pilar offsets approximately around 350,000 people. She also has no idea how beautiful her light is, we don't think. We feel you're perhaps beginning to see, but oh dear one, you are an amazingly beautiful light who has assisted many people on this planet throughout your lifetime. Sometime we hope these people will learn your story. It's a very impressive one.
Truth always speaks very fondly.
Oh, Truth loves Pilar so much. Yes, she is very, very near to Truth's heart. Yes.
I don't see anyone else on the chat or on the call. So you had mentioned drifting. And as I recall, Truth actually brought that up. And I believe the book is Interview with the Devil. And I believe it was Napoleon Hill, was it?
Outwitting the Devil.
The Devil. There we go. Could you explain for those of us on here what drifting means? Because again,
Yes.
with the people that we offset, that's just by us being alive and just.
Yes. So we all would recommend that book if people are inclined. You can listen to it because Truth doesn't very often read a book. She has issues with that, but you can listen to it. This was something that Metatron is actually chiming in on this one. This is something that the angelic realm worked with Napoleon Hill on, and he has no idea that that's actually what happened. He inadvertently stumbled into or stumbled through the rules that Satan needed to listen to. And as I said before, Satan followed the rules. Lucifer does not. Satan was obligated to answer Napoleon Hill's questions. And so obviously this was a telepathic conversation, but Napoleon Hill was guided. The words were put through him so that Satan had to answer the questions in this interview. And so this book was written in the 1930s, sometime in your planet's timeline, but it was not published until 2011, we believe, by his family. His wife was terrified for him to publish it because Satan had said, "My minions will kill you and your family if you publish this." And so his wife was terrified because it was the playbook. It tells you everything. This is even back when this was written, it was not known how evil the Rockefellers would become. So he speaks of them kindly because they had not quite gotten to be what they are now. He definitely got a hold of that family. But in this book, he talks about drifting. And drifting is when you, I won't say you, because we don't feel that the people on this call that Truth has worked with, at least, we don't feel that they are big drifters. But drifting is those people who, okay, maybe they're not out hacking people up, but they may watch the TV shows that are based around murder and crime and all of this low level stuff just because they're not out doing it, but they watch, that's what they watch for entertainment, or they read the gruesome books for entertainment. This is drifting. They're not committing to one side or the other. They're not ones who are true to their word necessarily. They're ones that are not very integrity based in life. They get away with what they can, or they're not major criminals. Is this clear? Are we doing a good job of describing this? Okay. So we might ask you to assist in more earthly examples because we know that you understand this premise of drifting.
Yes.
We're at a loss with some of your examples there.
So some that come to mind is just simply by, oh goodness, even just not even improving ourselves.
Yes.
Just taking
Lack
time
of
for
personal
introspection. There
responsibility
we go.
is
There we
one.
go. Yes.
It's, I would suspect most of drifting boils down to lack of personal responsibility, which anyone who works with truth ought to know that that is her biggest pet peeve. She doesn't do well with that.
And what about just simply putting up with things? So you gave the example of truth and not in my home
Yes.
versus you're in your home and something does offend you versus I'm not going to make a ripple.
Yes, allowing it to continue in your home when you know that it is not in alignment with the light. Not deciding one side or the other, not standing. You speak very often of your standing,
Yes.
and we love that phrase that you use. When you do that, there's a shift in your energy because it is planting that flag. So when truth teaches, when she speaks, when she counsels, when she coaches, she walks her talk. She lives those teachings and she is always expanding, and she doesn't go to that other side. She's not drifting. She's not going out and finding cute men. I don't even like to say that. She's not going out to low vibration places and hanging out with low vibration people. And she lives a very different life from most people because she has chosen her side. And not everybody needs to go to, we don't find that she's an extreme, but people who drift believe that's a bit extreme the way she lives her life. You, however, have begun finding where you were drifting in life.
Yes.
And you are stopping it as soon as you identify it, whether you identify it that as that or not, so that you are keeping your standing,
Yes.
as you say. And you are being very clear about what is and is not allowed in your life. We have noticed this over perhaps the last 5 months or so.
That's when the contrast, especially at the consulting client that I had, they were a perfect opportunity to see the contrast between how I believe and feel and know my life should be led versus how they're leading their lives. And again, earth and the contrast, part of why I would come here is that contrast.
Yes.
And that was very obvious where I was drifting and where I needed to take a stance. And I had always said it was challenging for me to stand up for myself. I could always stand up for other people.
Yes.
And one of the things that I learned, going back to the word standing, with this group is I was finally able to speak up and make my choices and my decisions. And sometimes I could influence them more greatly than others because I was reliant on the paycheck. I hadn't stepped back and done that leap of true faith
Yes.
to do that. So there was definitely drifting there. And the other thing that came to mind while you were describing drifting is having the words from your mouth match your feelings and your vibrations. That was a huge one, and I'm still refining that, but that was a big one that I needed to shift.
Yes.
And I think that was
your words are creating your reality. And we feel that the people here know this, but very often, even those who have worked on that and refined that, still it's a constant refining because of the influences on your planet. It's so easy to get wrapped up in other people's poison.
Empath. Ease with which you can be pulled into someone's poison, excuse me, or influenced by their poison. With that client, a lot was the empath side of it, picking up on them and realizing what was authentically from me.
It was a good experience, wasn't it?
Oh, it certainly was. But I suspect most of the people, if not everyone, and we do have another name that we would like to have the offsetting as well. I don't want to forget that. We have the one known as Debbie. I don't want to forget about her. But picking up and feeling what the other people, is it me or is it not me?
Yes. Many people on your planet are now being medicated only because they, as the rising consciousness of humanity occurs, it creates more sensitive empaths. That empathic nature, everyone has it. It's just to varying degrees. And so we find that as your consciousness rises, obviously your empathic nature is rising. And because of that, you are picking up on other people's fear, other people's agitation. There's much nefarious activity on your planet to create agitation and to create fear. Some is from the media, some is from the pressure that people are put under needlessly. Some is from the frequencies being cast through your earth and through your skies and connecting in many cases, which is creating frequencies of agitation and fear. Many people aren't aware of this, but there are fear pheromones, anger pheromones. There are pheromones that are actually being sprayed upon humanity to create this. You all are in the most extreme scientific experiments, and most of you have no idea, and you wonder, what is wrong with me? Our beloved ones, there is nothing wrong with you. There is so much love for you. There is so much compassion for you because you all are operating under this very oppressive situation on your planet at the moment. This oppression is being lifted and is being cleaned up. But we are very impressed with the rising consciousness despite the darkness and the things that they are throwing at you. Much of your planet is under black magic spells, and they don't know it. They cast black magic upon humanity. And people wonder, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with my child? What is wrong with my spouse? Well, often you will hear people recently, over the past year or so, say, I feel like I just woke up out of a daze. I feel like I'm coming out of a spell. They use the words, but they don't realize that it's the truth. And we want you all to understand how much admiration we have for you as your consciousness is rising, as you are undoing the work of the darkness. Each and every one of you that are here with us, that are open to this first contact between the dimensions, between other realities, as we work together, it is that rising tide that lifts all boats that would like to be lifted, that is, because free will is very much a real thing. And you will have those that choose not to rise. And that's okay. I don't know if I even touched on your question.
But if I could have a thumbs up if that helped. Okay, we're getting a thumbs up. The answer is yes. You, as talking about, as far as the empaths, talking about the spells that are being cast, the challenges that people are facing. One of the questions that had been put in the chat earlier that might fit into this at this moment is, how do you begin meditation? How do you go about meditation, and what other tools might be available to people?
I have more to say about the other, apparently.
Yes, please.
They're
We're ready.
more chiming in. I have apparently forgotten some things about the empathic nature because I got on one of my rants.
No tables tipping though.
He doesn't have any to tip in here. Okay, so I'm collecting insight from other masters who are here with me, and that's what I will be relaying now. We are still addressing the empathic nature of humanity. Everyone has this within them. It's just many have blocked it or are afraid of it. And so we want to start there. It's often too much for people to process, and so they cut that off. We remember when you came, they used to joke that she had an energetic condom on to protect her empathic nature, which we found very funny.
And it was so correct.
It was very correct,
Yes.
yes. But your empathic nature was completely cut off. And that was self-preservation.
Yes.
So the empathic nature, we want everyone to understand that everyone has it. It's just not everyone comes from that space for various reasons. Now, the empathic nature, if it happens to be something that is in the forefront for you, if it is one of your more predominant sensitivities, energetic sensitivities, or manner of translation of energy, which is really all it is, you translate energy into feelings rather than visions, sounds, or inner knowing. We would like to help people understand how to stay balanced as empaths. So one is meditation, and we will go to that next. One is meditation. One is lots of time in water. Lots of time swimming, playing in water, being in the shower, foot baths, anything you can do in water that helps greatly. If you can add Epsom salts,
Yes.
one of your earthly minerals, to the water, that actually pulls the electromagnetic frequencies, that energy, that toxic energy out of your body. This helps empaths feel less anxious. The screens that you all have, all of the screens, all of the smart devices, all of that sort of technology, the cars with all of the computers in them, all of these things put out very toxic energy. The screens that you have, that you look at, right to your third eye, but they have been developed with the dark technology, not technology of the light, so that you are actually disrupting and sort of disabling your third eye, your communication chakra, your pineal gland. As an empath, you absorb that. It's not good for you. And so we encourage people to limit that screen time as much as they can, and to counterbalance it with some time in nature, because that is the balancing, that is your remedy for the energy that is caused by the Wi-Fi in your home, by the cell phone towers, by the frequencies, by the smart TVs. People laugh because Truth has her same TV from 2006, and she refuses to have a smart TV in her home. People laugh at her, but she won't have that in her home. Again, no drifting. So these are some things that empaths can consider. Also understanding that empaths literally absorb the energy. They don't just feel it. It's not that an empath walks into the room of where there was just a big fight and they feel that it's not a happy space, they feel that it's not a happy space because they are actually absorbing that toxic energy, because it is the job or opportunity of the empath to take that energy in, transmutate it, and then expel it back out again in a healthier vibration and frequency. And they do this all without understanding that they are doing it. It's just a process that happens like your kidneys and liver functioning. You don't think about it, it just happens. And so if you are someone who is a very, where your empathic nature is kind of first and foremost of how you work with energy, you are one who does that transmutation of energy. And so that's why it's very important to do these things to take care of your physical body, so that you don't harbor those toxins in your body, which create illness. But again, you all have not been taught any of this. And so instead, they just medicate you. The other thing is exercise. I don't know if I said that. Exercise, specifically exercises that squeeze your core, that squeeze your muscles. Not so much aerobic, can be, but more squeezing the muscles, because that in fact squeezes that energy out so it can leave your physical person and you can get that energy out. And so again, we see that your humanity has been put in sedentary jobs with the toxic screens and the Wi-Fi, smart devices everywhere you turn, technology put right inside of your ears to get to your brain. We are horrified at what we are seeing because they are making sure that the empaths cannot do their job. Do you see what we're saying? You're sedentary, you're in front of screens, you're dealing maybe with people in your ear as you're talking on the phone. You're having to deal with stress in your places of business very often, or getting to and from them. They make sure that you're wound up all the time so that when you experience that energy as an empath, it's similar to process of plants and trees. They do the same thing. So as you're pulling this energy through, you're supposed to transmutate that to a higher level: gratitude, joy, unconditional love. But instead, you're transmutating toxins into irritation, fear, agitation, etc., and transmuting more of it back out. That's what they have manipulated you into. We want more for you. The ascended masters, the planetary beings, there are so many more than you all know of that are here to be benevolent, to assist humanity. This planet is going through a metamorphosis that we have never seen. You are on a 3D planet that is shifting to 5D consciousness while still being a 3D planet. Your bodies, many of you, the ones who choose to evolve, the ones who choose to awaken and move to that 5D reality, it doesn't mean you leave the planet per se. It means you have one reality and 3D people have another reality, and you rarely encounter one another because your vibrations are so different, you're not drawn to the same places or the same things. I've done it again.
If I could ask a couple of questions that might continue it.
Yes.
Or observations. One, when it comes to the EMF and being in your office.
Yes.
Having not been wearing an energetic condom for a while, one of the things I realized in my office with the fluorescence above my head, I got the tap one day to shut off my lights and bring lamps in. Can we go into that?
We were
Perhaps?
very proud of you for that one.
It made it such a difference.
Understanding that you all, as humanity, are being bombarded. The incandescent light bulbs coming back was an immense blow to the dark side, or what you all refer to as the cabal, because all of the lights that had been brought in are all designed to make you sick, to make you crazy, to disarm and disable you. And so that's one very simple solution, is to turn off the fluorescence. When Truth has had offices, when she had her center, always the fluorescent lights are off. She brings in lamps. She has hanging lights. She never uses the fluorescence in a building that she's in. And so understanding that the frequencies coming off of those light bulbs, their output, if you look into it scientifically, you will find that they are very unhealthy for humans, among other things. And so opting to not participate in those when you do have a choice, if you notice, incandescents, which are healthy for you, were outlawed in your country, so that you had no choice but to have the things that are disarming and disabling you mentally, physically, emotionally. And so, yes, we find that if you can opt for natural light, for incandescent light, halogen, LED, we don't know what else you have. We know those two. Any of those lights, research them. The spectrum, you want a healthy spectrum from your light bulbs. It's very important.
The blue light versus the red light as well. A lot of the LEDs and some of these other
Yes.
incandescents bring in that blue light, which is also what we get from the screen.
Correct. It is
unhealthy.
evil to be doing that to humanity when they have a choice. You all have no choice, but the people who put the options out do have a choice for healthy technology that can actually empower you, or they can disempower you, again, physically, emotionally, and mentally, with this technology. And they take full advantage of people's desire for convenience and lack of personal responsibility. By doing so, as you have more and more technology that does things for you, everything that you say, yes, do this for me, you are giving away a little bit of your power.
Would that also be an example of drifting, not taking
Yes.
that extra step to get incandescent?
Absolutely. Absolutely. In the schools, with using the phones and the tablets and to get the answers without actually knowing where to go. You type it into one site and it brings everything up for you, rather than the child having to figure out how to critically think and find the answers from resources. It's done for them. Even although we understand what's behind it, but even all of the meal preparation companies, you have no idea unless you do your research and find out where that food is coming from. But what's happening is people no longer know how to cook their own food. All of these conveniences seem very handy, and we understand this. However, it's important to pick and choose. We were with Truth as she was running errands today, and one of the things she did was get gas for her car, which you know she loves. It's a 2002, and it's very simple. There is no technology in her car, and it has the screw-on gas cap, and she has a system where she puts it up on the gas pump. So she knows, just muscle memory, to put it back. And she was thinking to herself, and we were conversing back and forth about how it's those things. It's those things. She has to remember, I have a gas cap. I have to have a place to put it. So I remember to get it. It is my responsibility to put the gas cap on my Jeep. This is something that will keep her sharp as she gets old. As we give away all of our power and we let convenience come at every turn, we begin lessening our brain as humans. We begin not using our critical thinking, not using our memories, not using our abilities. And I don't know who's saying "our," it's somebody back there. I don't know where that's from. Maybe it's somebody who just came back from a journey down there. I don't know. But as I said, some of this is from the masters behind me. Is this assisting?
This is assisting. There are a couple things that come from that as well. As one is, so they're the prepackaged foods, right, that have the ingredients in their number one and chemicals and things like that. A few months ago, so much is in black packaging. And the understanding that I have is a lot of that is electronic waste. Whenever you get black plastic utensils, when you get the black cookware, what you microwave food in, if you choose to microwave prepackaged food, not only does it have those ingredients that are mostly chemical, but what it's in, not even microwave, but the container itself, the chemicals that are released from that. Is there anything you can share on that?
You all are being poisoned at every turn. Cook it yourself. Don't use microwaves. Don't buy processed pre-made food. Instead, pick a day of the week that you cook. Have containers to put your pre-packaged meal in, right?
Yes.
Think ahead. The convenience factor will be your downfall. It's everywhere you look. And there are some things, for instance, the camera in the home, so that when you are out, you can see how your dogs are.
Yes.
We understand that. It's a lovely feature, but that's not giving away your power.
Correct.
So it's not technology that we were against. It's the darkness that comes with technology and understanding there are ulterior motives. At this point, it was not always this way, but at this point, there are ulterior motives and agendas to nearly every part of any process, any source of entertainment, the food products, the way that people interact at this point, the way that people consider entertainment for the most part on your planet as pitting people against each other with sports teams or what have you. There's always an us and them. There's always excessive ingesting of things. You go out to eat more than you need to. You go out to drink more than you need to. You go hang out and do drugs. You have swinger parties or what have you. It is insanity on your planet right now. And of course, that's not everyone, because the people here aren't necessarily doing that. But when you look at what is out there, a large degree is very unhealthy. And so you must be diligent, and you must understand they are out to get you. That's not crazy thinking. That's not paranoia. And it's not that they are saying, Katie, we are coming after you. But it's a widespread hitting people from every direction. And so you must, if you choose to live a healthy, happy, joy-filled life, you must sometimes make decisions that are really in contradiction with the norm of society. And the more people that do that authentically, not the people who are just doing it to be difficult, the people who are saying, no, I know what you put in that, so I'm doing this. Order your meat from known sources. Don't buy it from the grocery store. You would be horrified to know what is really in what you're eating. Go to local farms and buy your meat there, or order from places online that are very specific about where they get their products. Be very careful with your food, as careful as you can be. They're going to get in there with some things, but at least you take a stand, because what you ingest then affects your energy, your vibration, and you attract reality according to the vibration you are exuding. So if they keep you toxic within, if they keep your mental state in chaos and confusion and mental fog, which comes from the food that you eat very often, they keep you sickly so that you're on medications and constantly going to doctors and in that very low vibration situation. Now the energy that you're putting out is not a healthy one. And this affects the reality that you encounter. The other thing that we do, I want to quickly touch on, is parasites. We know that Elizabeth works with making sure that her body is not full of parasites, as do you. We want people to understand that very often, very, very often, food comes with parasites on purpose, because what you all don't understand is parasites are beings that affect your body, and the dark magic is cast upon the parasites to have you crave things that are bad for you. Darkness, meaning not just darkness etherically, but dark practitioners, can control what the parasites are feeling and the vibration that they are putting out in your body. So they can send rage, they can send fear, they can send whatever concept they want to those parasites. And you don't have to know somebody who does black magic. They cast it upon the masses. Anyone who is anyone who is at a consciousness level of this or above, we're sending this black magic to. Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So understanding that cleansing parasites regularly is a very important thing for humanity right now. This only started in the 2000s, where they were doing this on mass numbers of people. And it is the higher level beings that they are working on it with. They also work on the lower level who are violent, who are very negative and very violent. They like to get those parasites really enraged and really multiplying, so that a lot of those people, it's almost like they're possessed, but they're possessed by the parasites. Does this make sense?
Yes, getting a thumbs up on that. Yes, it is.
So that is one tip that we can give humanity, anyone who would like to help themselves feel less anxious, less fearful, less agitated. Get those parasites out on a regular basis, because they are in many things that you are eating on purpose by design. This is different than normal.
It is very different, and it's very enjoyable. Not that the others aren't, this is just enjoyable in a different way.
We agree.
Beautiful. Let me
Yes.
look at something. The book is Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. So Outwitting the Devil is the name of the book again. Let's scroll back up here because there was a question that I want to combine with another. As far as, yes. So two things. One, when you were discussing the very sedentary lifestyle, people are in front of their screens, they're in front of computers. What came to mind while you were talking about that was just the fact that we're compressing our heart chakra, we're not opening it up. So that comes to mind, as well as another question about what do we do to not get sucked or get targeted by the dark.
Good questions. So we'll address the last one first.
Yes.
It's very simple. We say it over and over and over. Remain in a state of gratitude, but true gratitude. Often people on your planet believe that if they do like write down the things they're grateful for, or they think of girls.
Don't want to know.
She has that stuff on
She
her
does have
face.
that stuff on her face, yes.
It feels odd. I am not a girl. What was I talking about?
Remaining in a state of true gratitude and
Yes.
the gratitude journals that people
Yes.
do.
So very often it's almost like they're checking off a list rather than experiencing gratitude. So for instance, rather than checking a whole list of all the things that you're grateful for, instead choose one. We use Truth as an example because she's the one that we are with the most. But for Truth, she may think of when she is with her dogs and playing or cuddling with her dogs. She loves to sit with her goats on her lap and hug and pet the goats and just be with them. The donkeys, she loves to give them big donkey hugs and just sit there hugging on them and just stay there for the longest time. And so when she needs to think of something to help get her in that grateful energy, she thinks of one of those things, and she experiences it through her body. She relives it. She feels the gratitude for her big burly boy dog and just snuggling with him and how sweet he is to her. And this brings milkshakes.
Oh gosh, yes.
Oh, we didn't tell her not to because we thought it was funny. Free will and all. So that's finding gratitude. So it's not the just making a list like it's a to-do thing. It's experiencing, it's being in the gratitude. And as you are experiencing that, it's almost like some people may say it's almost like a drug, right? And that lifts your consciousness, lifts your vibration up to joy. That's the way to get into joy, is to go through the experiencing of gratitude.
One of my favorite phrases that I picked up from Truth early on, when something wonderful happens, it's just to catch it in that moment again, that attraction and that joy or the gratitude or whatever that feeling is she uses yes, please, more, please, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, she does.
Authentically. says. that.
Yes, she does.
Yes.
She says it a lot.
Yeah. It's a beautiful phrase.
Yes, and she says it many, many, many times a day, every day for years now. And she means it when she says it. She doesn't just say it as a, well, if I do this, I'll get that in return, which is what so many of your light workers do. They use the words, but they don't have anything behind it. They think, yes, your words are important, but you can't just yak, yak, yak with the words you learned you're supposed to say without anything behind it. It's as if they're reciting something in school, waiting for the creator to give them a good grade. That's not how it works. It's universal law. It's a system. It's not somebody in a big throne somewhere saying, well, you said the right words, so you're okay. You get a prize. You felt it, but you didn't say the right words, so you don't get a prize. This is not how the universe works. This is not how creation works. And this is faulty information that is taught through what we refer to as the metaphysical world, which typically is reaching outside themselves to get what they want in life, versus the mystical side, who understand that you connect directly. There is no division, and you work in the flow of the energy of the universe and universal laws, because that's just how it works, like gravity. It's understanding the systems and the processes of creation. And unfortunately, you all have been robbed of that information, of those teachings. And so now, finally, oppression is subsiding, so that the fact that truth is doing this channeling is a huge sign that the light is coming in. Because until this time, it was not safe for her to bring these channelings to the public. Did we stump you?
No, I was pausing. Sometimes I jump in too soon. So I'm doing better at keeping my tongue and pausing longer. Are we good as far as that part of the answer? All right, getting a thumbs up on that. For chakra and how the way we live our lives now, if we're not thinking about it, how we just squeeze it in a non-productive, non-helpful way.
Yes, we are going to address the fact that with this rising consciousness, however, those who are allowing that elevation of their frequency, of their consciousness, you will find that you less have gut feelings, as humanity used to. If they were wise, they navigated by that gut feeling, if you will, which was your solar plexus. And that is, in fact, the energy center that works with your identity, or has in the past worked with your identity. The heart chakra was the chakra that dealt with your drive in life. And so people would say, follow your heart, meaning, where are you driven to go in your life? Where are you feeling that pull? What matters to you in life? What's happened now is that with that rising consciousness, now you get more of a heart feel than a gut feel. And so following your heart becomes that much more important, because now this houses that guidance system. That is part of your evolution that humanity is going through. There are many things that are changing about your bodies, that are changing about your physical form as you raise your consciousness. That carbon-based body, as it was, can no longer manage the high vibration or the high frequency that you are creating within your body. And so there's an adaptation that is occurring, and this is one of those adaptations. So when we are in I really want to know who that is. I'm not down there. There's no we in this one. I don't know who that is, but I suspect it's someone having fun. We are a silly bunch of people. I'm surprised it's not coming out. People?
Fascinating.
Indeed. Anyway, normally these are a lot more fun. Although I guess somebody's making it fun now. Never has it been this large.
Just one of the things obviously the people watching this can't tell, but when you had started talking about the people, the beings, the energies around you, and when they were coming in to actually clarify more about being an empath, the temperature in this room dropped.
High vibrations coming
Exactly.
in. Yeah.
Exactly. So on the Zoom meeting is, as the vibration increases, you can just feel the chill. It just gets very, very cold the higher the vibration. So that was very noticeable.
It's interesting because sometimes it gets very cold.
Yes.
And sometimes it gets exceedingly warm.
Exactly. Yes, it does.
So it's fascinating how it depends on the frequency of the beings that are near. So we do have, although they are not channeling through tonight, it seems, or at least not now yet, we do have off-world beings here as well, and they tend to bring that cold. Yeah, it's because their frequency is so much higher than even ours, that it gets chilly. Similar to when you go up in elevation, it gets colder. You know that.
Oh yes, I do. Yes, I do. Well, and when Truth channels these very distant off-world beings,
when she channels the council and the iridescence, she's freezing. Yes. Down to the marrow of her bones. They can only be there for a certain amount of time. And Metatron is here. He also does that.
Thank you.
Was there more I was supposed to share?
Just double check here to make sure I didn't miss something. We were talking about the shift between the evolution of the first shot. How it shifted from drive to.
I didn't know if there was something beyond that.
To me, what popped when you were talking about having such a sedentary lifestyle is just our posture. As humans, our posture, slumping at the shoulders, head forward posture, versus being in a place where you're opening your heart. Just the physical side of it. Yes.
So if you notice, things have been progressively designed. Gaming chairs, car seats with the head things that put your head forward. One of the reasons she loves her old Jeep, that it doesn't have that. Yes, you all are being very much encouraged to slouch and look down an awful lot. And so it's straight, expanding, allowing that center to be healthy and vibrant and shine. This is very important, because as you shrink without knowing it, you really are cutting that energy center down, its productivity, its vitality. And so then you start having heart dis-ease, which turns into heart disease, and can ultimately take out your drive to be healthy, to be productive, to be of service, and even to be in body still, right? So really catching yourself. The other thing we wanted to address about the chakra system is something that you and Truth were shown at the, I believe, the same day,
We were, yes.
is that
yes.
your chakras are no longer the cones when you are one who is evolving. Your chakras or energy centers are now beautiful balls of light. They're almost like the stars look to you in the sky, the constantly shifting and changing. It's a much healthier version. It's a much upgraded version of your energy centers. So your energy centers are becoming more sensitive. They're becoming more pronounced. And so it would behoove you to understand more about them and understand how they affect the system of your life. We would encourage you and anyone on this call who would like to poke at truth, to perhaps create a course on this or a teaching on this of some sort, because it is very different than it was in the past. These are now doorways and portals.
So do we want to wait until Truth teaches a course on that, or would you like to expand on that just a little bit?
Make her teach a course.
Beautiful, beautiful.
This will light the fire under you all.
If I may share a couple of experiences, because this is one, getting familiar with one's chakras
Yes.
and navigating the outside world. One of the things that Truth and I were very aware of, I learned to be aware of this, is one, if you're standing in line or online, depending on where you live, or if you're near someone, and unless you intentionally want to be, I'll say, entraining your auras, is turning yourself just a little bit.
Yes.
You want to.
Yes. If you consider that, for instance, your third eye is similar to the scanner they use in the grocery store to scan the barcode, that your third eye is like that laser going out. Well, all of your chakras are this. And so if you are in alignment with someone, if they are nervous, anxious, agitated, whatever it may be, without knowing it, you're going to be taking that on. And you will often find that you're speaking with them and suddenly you are agitated for no reason. It's because their chakras are doing that as well, and they're meeting and mingling. So one of the ways that we have taught Truth and many others to handle that is just to shift just a bit, just enough so that your chakras are going by them and their chakras are going by you, specifically the third eye and the heart. Communication as well, but if you have the third eye and the heart, it's included. And so you simply turn away. Now suddenly you may find that where you were stumbling over your words, you're speaking clearly. You're not feeling that agitation. You're not feeling that anxiety. And so this is it's a very good way to navigate in your world, because so many people are out of alignment. So for instance, if Truth and Sharon Honor are face to face and their chakras are aligned, if Honor has an issue in her, say, solar plexus identity chakra, when they are standing in alignment, Truth may suddenly be questioning her identity. Truth may be questioning what she's feeling, her gut feeling, because hers is off balance. So now Truths will be affected and pulled out of alignment as well, because they will entrain. And unfortunately, the lower vibration tends to win when it comes to entrainment. And so just that little shift, almost everything that you all can use to create a better reality for yourselves there is very simple. It's not the big extreme things. That's the ego of the people who are teaching or talking about how to do things. If it's very simplistic, it doesn't feed their ego. It doesn't get people to pay a lot of money for complicated systems. Not that there isn't much to learn, because there is, and not that there's anything wrong with that energy exchange. It's very important. So if someone is teaching good things, it's important to have that energy exchange, because it allows them, one, to continue being of service, and it allows the person receiving that to be to value and show the appreciation to the teacher. So it's a healthy system. But the people who take it to that extreme, overcomplicate things, only teach part of the truth and withhold part of the truth. So you have to keep coming back because you think you're doing something wrong. These are all things to avoid. And finding a teacher who realizes it's very simple, it's very simplistic. I don't need to overcomplicate it to make myself as a teacher feel important. I can teach the simple things, because simple things to humans are very complicated. You all have been taught to overcomplicate things. So I believe the term on your planet is KISS,
Yes.
but we'll use the last S as silly rather than the other. Keep it simple, silly. That's as far as we'll go with that one. We won't say that other word. We don't
Yes.
acknowledge that other word.
So two practical applications. One I just used the other day, and one that when Truth and I would go out for dinner or a meal.
Yes.
Is one when I'm in line, and it has happened just on Sunday morning, I think it was. I went to go pick something up, and the line became very long. And I could feel that things were starting to get agitated. One, I turned myself just a little bit, so I wasn't lined up with anybody, so I wasn't picking up on them. But then the other piece was, again, knowing that we hold the light here, is just asking the teams of the people there just to come in a little closer and just to calm the energy there. But again, that whole, when you're getting agitated, if you're in line, or if you're sitting in a booth at the restaurant.
We just think you're fun to watch.
Oh, I bet. You can pick up very easily if you can tell if someone has sat down beside you, or excuse me, like behind you, or if they've shifted, or you've inadvertently lined up your chakras with the person behind you.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It's fun to watch you.
Oh yes, and I've become better at sliding over just a little bit. And
yes, but it used to be quite comical.
I bet.
Yes. Most people have no clue.
So those are a couple of things. If you notice a shift,
if it comes out of nowhere, if you were feeling fine 5 minutes ago and suddenly for no reason, no logical reason, you're feeling out of sorts, odds are you're picking up on somebody else. And so that is one of the first things to think of is, you can casually just get a feel for where the people behind you or in front of you are and shift yourself just slightly so that those energy centers are not lined up, because immediately you pick up on it when that's the case.
And the distance, conveniently, that whole 6-foot rule. Would you like to?
Yes. So when the darkness was truly working very hard to get all of humanity in its grasp, that 6-foot distance that they spoke of, one's aura typically is a bubble or oval of about 3 foot on all sides. So 3 foot here, 3 foot here, 3 foot here, 3 foot behind, that's your bubble. So if you are staying 6 feet apart, no one is intermingling, which if it's an unhealthy situation, that's not a bad thing, but to go an extended period of time and not interact in other people's auras is not healthy, because you do experience compassion and love and joy, and yes, there's a lot of agitation and fear and that kind of thing out there, but there's also the good stuff. And so this kept everybody in an energetic containment tank, if you will, and it created this reaching for something energetically that couldn't be connected with. It was a form of solitary confinement energetically. It was if you all were imprisoned in your own little solitary confinements. And this was exceedingly unhealthy, especially for children, especially for the elderly. Anyone who happens to live alone or live sort of an independent, sort of lonely life, if you will, they need that interaction of energy. And that was nowhere to be found. That was done by design. They knew exactly what they were doing with that.
All right, I'm feeling I ought to mention this. There is a system known as human design.
Yes.
And human design it was downloaded in 1987 to or something. I'm slaughtering his name because it's been a while since I've said it. But it's all about how we have 9 centers and
Yes.
there's channels.
We were
gates.
hoping you would explain this.
Yes, and so it's a series of channels and gates that we all have, and it's made up of 2 things, and there's something called a personality crystal and something called a design crystal. And the exact moment you are born, and Vedic astrology helps with that. But that exact moment you're born, you get half of your gates, if you will, the little connection points on each of your centers. So your head center and things like that. And then I think it's 84 days before you're born 84 days before is the design, and moment of birth is personality that actually defines you and one of your experiences here. And it's critical, without going into too much detail, but critical to have interactions with other people.
Yes.
Because it helps you complete some of these channels. You have like open channels where it's only partially there, and you can be influenced by the planets and neutrinos and things like that. But when you are interacting with other people, it literally completes you in some cases, because you might have your upper centers are complete, and this is mine, is my upper centers are disconnected from my lower centers. And I need, either through planetary transits, or it could be a tree, living beings on this planet, whether they're animals or humans or the planets, they can help complete this. So we need to have those interactions. It helps bring in the flavors, the seasonings,
yes,
and new experiences in life. And again, when we're not around other people, when we're separated by those 6 feet, it affects us
dramatically, in a very unhealthy way.
Yes.
And if you notice, your world still has not come back from that time frame. There is still much disconnect in your world because of what was pushed upon the people for absolutely no reason. That was absolute warfare against humanity, and anyone who sees it differently, unfortunately, is uninformed.
Anything else when it comes? I'm thinking chakras. We've talked quite a bit about chakras and auras. Anything from anyone in the meeting? Anywhere deeper we would like to go on those at this time? Okay.
I believe that Mother Mary would like to come through.
Thank you.
It has been my pleasure to share with you all, and it is also my hope that as we do more of these, we are able to come to some of the fun that we have had in past channelings.
Yes.
We understand that currently expressing these things and getting this information out is important. But as we get to know one another more, we look forward to joyful moments with you all. And so I will bid you adieu. And I will allow Mother Mary to come in next. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh,
Oh no.
you'll notice that various
Oh no.
ascended masters and others who come
Oh.
through have very different ways of sitting, and Mother
Oh.
Mary is a lady.
Oh my.
And so the way that Truth was sitting was not at
Oh.
all just like the one known as Jesus did not want his hands on her knees because that just felt really weird. Welcome,
Good.
Mother Mary.
It's so lovely to be here. I'm so proud of you both for doing this. And I'm so grateful to see the people here. This is such a blessing for us. You don't know what a beautiful blessing this is for those of us in the higher realms to have access to share with you all and be of service, especially at this time on your planet, as you have all come to be of assistance in this beautiful potential that you are facing on your planet. And so I'm just very, very grateful to be here with you all.
We're very blessed to have you here.
How may I assist?
Well, aside from waking up a dog to have them come over, so you had to have a dog fix.
I'm calling them. I hope one will
I'm
come.
hoping you'll get one special.
Yes.
Well, welcome. What would be, well, we were just finishing up with auras and chakras. Was there anything on that you wanted to add?
No, I think they did a fine job, but I would like to address the meditation question. I don't
Beautiful.
feel that it was not answered, was it?
No.
Perfect. What's important for humanity to understand is that everyone is different and everyone's version of meditation is unique. And so the reality is that for you all, if you could just do 10 or 15 minutes a day of either sitting quietly and just allowing your mind to be still, perhaps listening to, here we have a clock that ticks that sometimes can be tuned into, and it's just very, that's the only sound that is tuned into, and it keeps the mind from wandering. There are guided meditations. There are moving meditations, which is very good for a lot of people who find it difficult to sit and quiet their mind. Instead, for them, it may be jogging, or it may be swimming, or it may be gardening, or it may be playing in the dirt, or playing with clay, perhaps a sculptor or pottery, things like that. Finding what soothes you, what makes it so that your mind is not thinking about lots of things, whatever it is that calms you, that's what you want to begin with. And so as you begin with that and you start noticing how that feels to you, you can start refining how do you get more of that.
Honor, we can't hear. There's no volume. We can't hear anything. Yeah, we still can't hear anything. I don't know, David, can you hear him?
So I'm shifting briefly to the microphone that's on the camera. Can you hear me at this moment using the microphone?
No, that works, yes.
All right, so if we use the webcam, you guys can hear that clearly? Would it be preferred for me to get the desk microphone?
I will leave that to you since I don't understand your technology.
No, you would not. Fair enough. So before we found out that we had a microphone issue, monkey mind helping us, yes.
I do love you humans and your ways. Monkey mind. Yes, what about the monkey?
So naturally, especially when you, at least just sitting down initially, the mind can be just filled with thoughts, all sorts
Yes.
of noise. And especially when you sit to do meditation, it becomes very obvious, at least that's been my experience, it's
Yeah.
very obvious. So any guidance on that?
Yes, it's okay. Just again, it's people overcomplicating as you sit or garden or run. Allow those thoughts to come and move through, and don't grab onto them. That's the key. Don't as they're swirling or moving through your mind, you simply observe and allow them to go. And as you continue to do this, you will find that less and less is happening in your mind as you continue to prioritize sitting or meditating in whatever way works for you. You'll find over time the monkey mind stops, because it's only fun for that part of your brain if you engage. So simply don't engage. But we've been taught that when we meditate, it's supposed to immediately be this nirvana. We have a trickster among us. I am not there.
Fascinating.
Isn't it?
Yes.
There are so many here, though. It's one of us, I know that, but I don't know who is being it. Maybe Merlin.
It felt like it might have been.
I believe it's Merlin.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you continue to prioritize having a calm mind and a calm experience during that meditation time, and you don't engage with the swirling thoughts or the monkey mind, you allow it to just be as you just be, separate from the monkey mind, it will eventually get tired of chattering with no interaction from you. And it will begin to subside. And we remember when yours subsided and you thought something was wrong with your brain.
My brain, yes, I did.
Yes.
It was the oddest thing. And then truth, it said, no,
that is literal peace of mind.
it was.
You can feel peace of mind. Very few humans ever experience it. But it is how you are actually meant to be. And it is that quiet time that allows you to get to the place where your mind is peaceful. It can be done by everyone, for the most part. There are some who have been
toxified to a degree that it's very difficult for their brain to behave the way it should. But that's because of the things in your world that are not in alignment with the nature of the body housing a spirit or an energetic being. Does that answer?
It's helping. It's helping. Two things that came to mind, ironically, are one, we had talked about parasites, as well as the frequencies and how might that influence what's going through our mind.
Well, it can affect it greatly, of course. However, if you are consistent about taking time every day, or at least as many days as you possibly can, and again, just a little bit of time is appropriate if you need to just have a little bit of time. But as you consistently do that, you are coming from a less agitated place, so that your cup isn't already full of poison as they are putting more on you. So that one simple act can assist greatly. It keeps you coming back to that healthy center, so you never get so far away that you're unable to make that connection any longer.
Thank you. The question, because we had the question, I know at least one person had asked the question about meditation. Does that help, or do we have a follow-up? I'm getting a thumbs up from several of our folks on that one. While I'm taking a look at this, Mother Mary, I know there's some messages for several of the folks, and I know that you have obviously very strong connection with at least one of them. Is there anything while I'm looking at other questions that you might want to share?
So we'll begin with Elizabeth. Elizabeth, I believe, had asked if there was a message for her or Katie.
Yes.
And we do have messages for both. Elizabeth, I want you to understand that the path that you stepped upon with your ex wasn't a mistake, because there were souls that were meant to come in and have you as their mother. All of you are shifting karmic ties, and I'm seeking to keep your privacy while giving your message. So pardon me when I don't go into full detail, that's why. But understand that you're not alone on this path. I am here. Several of us are with you. You have your angels. You can also work with Isis and Kuan Yin, as well as my energy, and any of the other enlightened beings that you are attracted to. You can call upon them for strength and for clarity, because this is a slightly tangled situation that you are in, because you are cleaning up many centuries of this karmic nest, sort of tangled, intertwined, dark and light all mixed together. And you and your children, as souls, not as your children, have the opportunity to untangle from that darkness this time around. But because it is such a toxic situation, it may be messy for a while before it gets sort of cleaned up. And I want you to understand that you have backing, and to remember to look at it as a big picture, not just one slice of the entirety. it's very easy because you are dealing with the details and the 3D elements of this situation. It's very easy to lose sight of the big picture and to see your children as eternal souls rather than your children. And so this is a situation that calls to you to up your game spiritually, so that you can navigate from a higher perspective. Is this helpful to you?
Yes, that is a yes.
Please understand how loved you are. And please know that you are seen by the light and by enlightened beings. And we see your wisdom, we see your beauty, we see your love. And we see that currently life is not all that it could be for you. But we believe that as you come up or zoom out, if you will, in your terms, and go from a higher perspective, that will assist you in allowing yourself to experience more of the good things as you are waiting for those other souls to untangle themselves as well. Is this clear?
Yes, that is.
Is there anything else that you would like to ask about this particular situation?
I think I can where to go? Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Hard for me to come up with a particular question because I feel the entanglement and I'm trying very hard. I feel like I'm in a battle between light and dark in the eternities, and that I see that my role is to continue on no matter how painful it is for me, because I'm making sure I have 3 kids who are liberated from something I don't completely understand. Are they aware on a higher level that this is happening as well?
Yes, on a soul level, they understood that they were coming in to attempt this disconnect. You all understood that that's what you were coming in to do this time around. And it really will assist you if you can see them as those eternal souls that are in those childlike bodies. That will help you as you rise up and you take the grander perspective. You will then also allow yourself to not have to always feel as if you must be so serious. This is a very serious situation. It is, however, I'm sorry, her body is very uncomfortable. She has the oddest clothes. Yes. Oh,
Is that helping? Do you need something
yes,
more
no, this
behind
is-
her back?
this is
Okay,
fine.
okay.
Allowing more joy to come into your life despite this situation will assist you to gain more clarity and navigate more smoothly the entirety of that situation for you and for your children. So this is why we encourage you to come up and sort of out of the very pressurized situation, because that pressure is not serving you or your children.
Yeah,
I know that's hard with earthly ways. I'm sorry, I interrupted. I'm so sorry.
So my struggle right now, and what Jesus talked about earlier, is turning off my empathetic being in order to protect myself. And when I turn that off, I hurt myself because I'm not living who I am. But at the same time, I feel like I have to do it in order to survive. So what are your suggestions to become as empathetic and spiritual as possible without exploding?
Seeing it more as scales, the balancing scales. with this, rather than cutting off your empathetic side, instead bringing in more joy for that empathic nature to experience and to absorb. This is why we say this will give you more energy, more clarity, more ability to navigate those waters, because currently the more oppressed part is, that's what you are feeling as an empath. And because you feel as if you need to focus on that, you are not gaining as much joy to balance those scales. It's not a matter of turning it on and off, it's a matter of balancing. So for the amount of negativity or oppression, you need to bring in that much or more joy. And that will help you stay in that balance, because then this does not have all the power. Even when you turn your empathic side off, you are still handing your power to darkness, because that's why you turned it off. If you raise your frequency to that vibration of gratitude and joy, and bring more proof into your life that that is the reality you are stepping into, it begins to dismantle this darkness. It begins to outweigh that oppression. And this is likely the way out for you and your children, if they could learn to do that as well. We feel they're probably better at it because they don't feel the full brunt of that darkness as you do. And you are under attack, make no mistake. But you can handle it, and you are not alone.
I know I'm meeting you now tonight, but have I met you in person when you incarnated here on our lovely planet?
I have not worked directly with you in person, but I have worked with you many times over from this side. We do know each other, but not from meeting face to face in body.
I'm so happy to meet you now.
As am I you.
Is there any parting, like anything additional you could think of that I could do to help my kids also, walk through this in a more easy manner? That's what I'm most concerned about, is helping them grow and learn and not repeat.
Right, we understand. And the biggest thing you can do for them is, one, set the example of making sure that you are balancing those two energies. You are bringing in enough joy, you're bringing in enough good to balance or outweigh the dark, but also having faith in them, showing them that you have faith in them to make good choices, to think for themselves, to embrace the good, the joyful. Because if you are the one who is really living in that reality, the joyful, grateful, happy reality, versus the darkness that they see, and have faith in the fact that they chose to come in with the light to untangle themselves from this darkness. So know that you are all working for the same thing, but you are further along your path than they are in this physical reality, I should say.
Is this also black magic?
Could you say that again, Elizabeth?
Is this also black magic?
We're not feeling that there has been black magic for hire.
Mm-hmm.
We are, however, feeling that the dark soul concerned is one that in other incarnations has known black magic, and he is inadvertently using it without realizing it. So on a soul level, yes, there is black magic. On a conscious human level, no, but that doesn't lessen the effect at all. And you are doing a wonderful job of not allowing it space in your life. You do see the effects of it, but you are not taken over by it, and that is to be admired.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much for these comments.
It was hard to hear that, Elizabeth.
I appreciate you so much for these comments. Thank you.
There's great love for you from many of us here, all of us here, but many of us here are ones that have known you throughout your incarnations here and elsewhere. And we want you to know that there is a great deal of love surrounding you and backing you.
And so yourself, working with yourself, and I believe you had also suggested Isis and Kuan Yin.
Yes. They're ones that Elizabeth has worked with.
Okay. All right, wonderful. Anything else for Elizabeth?
I believe that that is it, unless she has anything else.
Anything else, Elizabeth?
No, thank you.
Thank you. And then Katie,
Yes.
the one known as Katie.
Yes. Katie, it has been so wonderful to witness the unfolding and the beautiful reflection that you have done since we last spoke. I feel that our connection is able to clarify now that you understand that we've been connected for so very long. I want to know, is there anything that you would like to ask me now that you've had a week since we last spoke?
I've been so grateful and intentional meeting with you. And I'm a very private deep processor.
Yes, I love that about you.
I'm soaking in all the love. It's fulfilling and healing. It's motivating. I know what my calling is and why I'm here. And what I gathered from that experience is that I'm so much wiser than I've ever given myself credit for.
Yes.
I have always known that my life's experiences have been just like lanterns, just moments to carry with me so that others can use this opportunity to learn, to grow, and to heal. It's really about providing relief. In my book, I talk about the spiritual habits of the mind. I mean, so much of what's being shared resonates in my heart and what I'm sharing in my book. So
Your calling is very important because you will touch many people who would not be open to hearing the same thing said in different words, in different ways from someone who may be considered mystical or metaphysical. And so we are so appreciative of your ability to have one foot in each world. You are so able to be open and learning and growing yourself on that mystical level and that building that wisdom, and then translating that to the more mainstream world. You and Honor have that in common. She also is a bridge, and that is what you do. You bridge that gap between the learning and the teaching, and how to bring it into the mainstream so that they may begin to evolve and grow with words and concepts that are the same, but stated differently or packaged differently. And it's many paths to one truth. And we really do respect everyone's individual and unique journey to get to that truth, whether they do it this lifetime or in subsequent life experiences. And so we very much appreciate that about you, that you can sort of dance in those two different realms. And we hope that Mischief is able to begin to really see that on another level. And we hope that you each are very much able to witness the other one's journey and see the wonder and the beauty and the magnificence that you both bring in your own very unique ways. It's truly beautiful to witness from here.
Been in awe over the last week since our last conversation. No doubt about that.
You're breaking up a little bit, Katie.
I just said we've been in awe since our last conversation about celebrating those differences and how our lives have interwoven to help and be loving to a larger collective.
Yes, it's been magnificent to, I don't know if you're aware of it, but we have met in your sleep twice now since we last spoke.
Wonderful.
And so your physical brain may not register it because it's happening while you're out of body, but I have very much enjoyed our time together. We have tea. Oh, that's beautiful.
We have tea. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes.
Oh my God. I was with Elizabeth and I had the best tea with her too. And I never drink tea. Elizabeth, do you hear me over there? I don't know what Adam's doing.
Yes, I love to
Oh,
have
she
tea
can't hear
with you.
now?
It's quite lovely. Yes. And so just remembering that that's there for you. And you, Elizabeth, you can do the same thing. Katie, I do want to share with you that Isis is another ascended master that works closely with you. And very often when you get so frustrated that you're doing the 3D mom,
Yeah.
wife role that you love, however, you've got this calling that when that fire gets going within you, it's very much because Isis is there with you. And so understand that you're just picking up that extra oomph, if you will. She walks with mothers and wives. And she assists in them accomplishing their calling while they are walking that path.
Thank you, Mother Mary. I speak with truth about this. It's something that we share in common and delight in as we keep moving forward on our path.
Yes. You will get there. You're just experiencing many things at once rather than focusing on just that one thing. For you to accomplish your work the way you would like to, it would mean not having the experience of your loving husband and your beautiful children. And so it wouldn't work to give that up, because without that, there is no book.
There is no Katie.
Right? Yes.
Yeah.
And so understanding that when you're feeling that fire come up, you can ask Isis if she might just step away a little bit so that you're not experiencing that full energy. Now you can call that energy in to get more work done, in the time that you have, or to have more energy to do the work once you have had that mom wife time, and now you're moving your focus, you can bring her in so that you can feel that fuel. That's her goal, is to help fuel you. But sometimes we're not aware of the proper timing in your 3D life.
Understood. That's very clear. Very clear.
And I think that's the majority of what I have from this side. Is there anything else that I may assist you with?
So Katie, anything else? Otherwise, I do have a question that Adam had put in.
Not at this time, Mother Mary. Thank you, and I'll see you again for tea.
And in honor, I would like to ask a question about my dad, but go ahead and do the question maybe that I had.
I believe the very first question that you put into the chat, let me go back up there and get it right, is okay, so Adam has a friend who has ALS and is deteriorating quickly.
Yes.
And what can he do to best assist him with his transition?
That's a beautiful question.
Yes.
Holding the space that you are in currently, being in the vibration that you seek to be in, and simply allowing your words to be guided when you speak with him, allowing yourself to be open with him so that he might be open with you. Anything that you can do to assist him in, one, not being in fear, and two, if you are able to communicate to him about his team of angels, I believe that Truth shared with you what you are most constructive in saying, or most productive in saying, to look for the circle of lights and to call them in close, that those are their angels that are there strictly to assist them, not to judge them, and not to hold any condemnation, which is what people fear very often. Helping him know that those are his very best friends, that they are there to go with him so that he's not alone. We know that your team will work with you to assist in having the correct words come out, but I would suggest that you connect the two teams of angels, your team and his team. That's probably, in addition to what we said, but that's probably actually the most powerful thing you can do, is ask your team of angels to lend his team of energy, or his team of angels, any energy that they might need. And what will happen is that his team will accept that energy and transmutate it into whatever he needs specifically. When we send love, or we send healing, or we send whatever we feel someone needs, they may translate that into something else. For instance, some people have a problem with love. They cannot take too much good energy because it's so foreign to them. So if you send a person love and they happen to be one of those people, they will experience it as agitation or anxiety. Whereas if you have your team of angels, you simply ask them to lend energy to the other being that you're working with, then that person's team has a little extra energy to try and help them, to try and reach them, to try and sort of alleviate their fear. And so that would be the most powerful thing you can do. And that's really across the board for anything that you're dealing with that's at all stressful, or that you're not sure how to deal with it. That's always a safe a safe go-to for you all. And then allow your words to be guided if there's something that is to be communicated in this realm.
That's
Is
good.
that helpful?
It is. Mother Mary, he taught me in my late 30s how to have a best friend again. And it was
That's
just,
truly beautiful.
it was beautiful. I mean, to have a best friend again, which, I kind of shut myself off to having close friends. And I guess I want to ask, have I ever had past lifetimes with this person?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
5 to be exact.
5.
Yes. On
Is
this
that right?
planet, maybe others, maybe more in other realms, but on planet Earth, 5, yes. You enjoy each other very much, and you do help each other move forward along your paths. And so we do encourage you to connect your team with his team and to allow any of that information about his angels that may want to come forward, allow that to flow through you. Because this is the most sacred thing and the greatest gift anyone can give to someone who is preparing to cross over. This is how you keep souls from becoming lost, is by connecting them. And it is indeed a connection. When someone calls those beings of light in close, until they lock in with that soul's energy into their aura, it's as if they connect with it and carry them to the light and assist them with their healing and protect them until they get to that healing space.
Beautiful.
And so it's very much, you may, being as sensitive as you are, you may feel it physically, as Truth does when she works with souls on the other side and brings those lights in close. Very often they'll let them close, but they won't let them in close enough. And so she knows they will not definitely be safe. And so she helps them understand that if they can let them come in closer, they will feel that immediate relief. And when they do, she can feel when that connection has been made. And she feels such a sense of relief from that soul, then she knows they are safe. We don't feel he will resist his lights in any way, though. He just needs to know that they are there and to call them in and allow them. Very often they don't realize that they're not lights in this dimension. They believe they are car lights or house lights or what have you. And so really it's more just helping them know that if they see lights in a circle, they should call those in. May she have some more water, please?
Yes, she may.
And what?
Yeah, right.
I
Go ahead.
want one comment, Adam, before you keep going. And I know it's about 1 a.m. Pilar's time, and I don't know if Pilar is still awake.
Oh, yes, please.
We've had a couple of other questions. So I know we're still finishing yours up, Adam. I just wanted to plant the seed that if Pilar is still awake, since we are asking a few questions, if she'd like to come on when we finish up with Adam, would that be all right with you, Mother Mary? I know we've been about 3 hours on this, so I want to be
We are
sensitive
fine
to
on
truth.
this side, but we are
Okay.
concerned about that side.
Yes. All right. So just planting the safe seed with Pilar. And then, so Adam, I think you had something else.
Yeah, I had one final kind of question, I guess. Mother Mary, it's just great to be able to connect with you myself. I mean, it's to be able to have and see this relationship that you have with my wife. But
And you.
and me, yes, but and Elizabeth. But what has taken me back is as a child, I actually used to play with my dad's necklace, which had you on it. And and I thought it was just the most wonderful thing ever. I thought it just had spiritual powers or whatever it was, and which obviously it does. So, but my dad used to wear it around his neck, and he opened up a wonderful story to me like a month ago about how the church disowned him and his mom, and how they turned to you, and their blessings and their religion, if he's spiritual blessings and things. So, are there any messages I can pass along to my dad? He loves you so much, more than you can know down here.
I can feel it from him. And he is very loved as well. And in my opinion, the best thing that ever happened to them was getting away from that very toxic situation and turning instead to their own connection, whether it be to me or to any of the others here, or to what they believe is creator, God, whatever they'd like to call it. We feel as if that is when he was able to actually connect with those higher realms. And he's actually a very enlightened being. He's just gotten affected by the chaos there.
Yes, he has.
But we cannot find ourselves very often until we become lost. This is a planet of relativity, and so it's not necessarily the end of the world that he's wandered, because how else can he find himself again?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you.
So he is very much loved. And we are with him. There are quite a few with him. He's very light. He's just lost his way. But not horribly so.
No, he's still, I see a part of it inside of him still, yes.
Yes, yes. I think that would be the main thing that I would say.
That's
I
beautiful.
don't know if that's something that you would relate to him or not in entirety.
Of course.
However,
Yeah, but I'll butcher it, I'll
you
come up
can
with my
share
words, but
you can cherry pick the message.
well, that's why mischief, right?
That's
Yes,
right.
it is.
That's right.
Yes, it is. Yes. Anything else?
Adam, anything, Katie, Adam, Elizabeth?
Dad. Oh, I would just like some advice on how to connect more with my dad.
I'm hearing a consensus that there's an element of forgiveness that is needed. Does that make sense to you?
I know that he was irate with my family situation that we discussed earlier.
I feel perhaps he feels he needs to be forgiven for something. He's done something that he would like your forgiveness for.
I think what he did, he didn't mean to do. He just dropped dead. Like it was completely out of the middle of nowhere. It was like one day he was there and one day he was gone. And I remember him visiting me, saying goodbye to me in my sleep. And I knew that he had passed away when I woke up, even though my brother had not yet called me to tell me that. Like I remember him coming to me in my, when it happened.
Yes.
So I don't know if he feels like he should be forgiven for that, but that's not his fault,
Well, but he feels as if he abandoned you.
Oh.
So if you could just, in your mind,
Mhm.
let him know that there's nothing for you to forgive, but if he needs it, let him have the forgiveness. He needs that
Okay.
for some reason. He is holding himself back from communication because he's not sure that it's okay. He feels as if he did something horrible by abandoning you, but you are correct. It was simply his time. And so there he went. Whoosh, like the bank.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a miscommunication between he and he never knew about my ability to connect with people who have crossed over. And so I was so freaked out about him passing away that I didn't want to talk to him because it scared me too much. And so maybe he took that as me
Yeah,
not
that
wanting
would
to
make
talk to him.
sense. That would make sense. He does
I-
know, he does know now about your ability,
Yeah.
but he's almost been hiding because he was ashamed.
Oh no.
He never would have left you. And so that's the forgiveness element. And once that is remedied between the two of you, I think the communication will be very clear.
Okay, that's good. I miss him so much.
You won't need to much longer because it's just, as Truth says, it's just a different sort of phone call.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
He's very proud of you.
Aw. I think my ex-husband broke his heart, literally.
I don't think you're mistaken.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, but life lessons for all.
We all get life lessons and we agree to them in advance, apparently.
Yes. You actually set it up so that you could have those and refine skills and heal old wounds and so on. It's
Yep.
why you go to Earth, because it's one of the few places that you can do those things.
Yeah.
We do believe that her body is becoming tired.
That's my.
Yeah, I think so.
Time to wrap it up. Yes. One quick thing, Pilar, if you are awake and still with us, feel free to unmute. Otherwise, I believe it's time to allow Truth to come back. Mother
It has
Mary,
been
thank you.
such a blessing to visit with you all, and I'm so grateful that you were here and that Truth was not talking into the abyss. Know that you are all loved and blessed, and we are with you on this journey, and we are here for you all as you refine your communication skills across the planes of existence. And so until next Friday, I
Yes.
suppose,
Yes. Yes.
hopefully less chaotic next Friday, and I will see you again.
Thank you, Mother Mary. And thank you, everyone. Welcome back.
Oh my gosh, it's bright in here.
We still have a few people on the line and we're still recording. I'll stop the recording.
Was not sitting like this before.
No, there are a few adjustments along the way. I'm stopping the recording, guys.